Oh, it's okay. I woke up. My hair was like this when I woke up. Well, I'm gonna look doofy talking about this, but today I want to talk about um, rewarding the right people. It's gonna be kind of weird talking about. I guess. Anyways, there was a quote that somebody had told me when I was working back in retail. It was the squeaky wheel gets the oil. That's the quote, and that was we were talking about how there are certain people who scream the loudest, yell the loudest, and they're the ones who get appeased, right? They're the one who gets the oil. But that's not to say that any of the other wheels don't need oil. They don't need lubrication, right? To work better and function better. It's just the one that is the loudest, making the most noise, oftentimes is the one that gets satisfied. And that's something that I've looked into is retail or the food service. It makes sense because you don't want to have any angry customers, right? But it's also completely unfair to the all the other people. Like, let's say you mess someone's order up. Like, don't they deserve to be taken care of too? But because this other person's yelling and screaming, maybe you go take care of them first. So I don't know, man. Maybe people will see this as wrong. Maybe it's like, oh, David, you're that's wrong that you do that. But like, I will go out of my way to help anybody who is being reasonable. I think I've talked about this in my customer service video before. Like, if you're asking for somebody to help or you need help from somebody, people are more usually willing to help you. But if you're acting like a jerk, they're less likely wanting to help you. And so, like, I try to make it. I try. I'd never give anybody anything for free. That's just me, because I don't think the way, like, let's say you screwed someone's order up, right? Okay, it's our fault. Or take responsibility. We will replace it, absolutely, no problem. Or if you want your money back, we refund it, totally. But then I'll have people who come in. It's like, well, can I just get some free this? Can I get some free that? Like, it's really, I almost want to say disgusting, because it's basically like you buying them off, right? It's like, oh, they're unhappy. Okay, here you go. Here you go. Here's some free shit. And then they're like, oh, okay, I'm happy now because you gave me some free shit. But it's like, you understand how that kind of comes off as very like it's not just shisty. It's not just like it's like, well, how what's the price on your dignity or whatever. It's like, oh, you want to bet like a couple free egg rolls or a free drink, and then you'll shut up and you'll be happy. Really? That's your price? A couple egg rolls? You know? So like, I try not to give anything for free at all. But if somebody comes in, if we screw somebody's order and they come back in and they're like uh mature about it and they're cool about it, and they come in and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, you guys messed up my order. I'm back to get it replaced." Absolutely. And then I'll be like, "Okay, yeah, sorry you had to come back all this way. Uh, if you eat egg rolls, I'll get you a couple egg rolls since you had to come back all this way." Okay, great. But there's some people who, when they call, they're already like, "Well, I had to spend my gas to come back, so I'm not coming back unless I'm getting something free." I'm like, "Okay, well then don't come back then." I know this seems very counterproductive, like from a corporate customer service perspective, because from from the from the corporates or like business side of it, it's like you don't want to piss anybody off. You want everybody to be happy. Just give them what they want and make them happy. The customer is always right, right? No, the customer is not always right, because the customer does some really stupid stuff sometimes. And not that I'm trying to play policeman, but they gotta learn. These people, I feel like these people need to learn sometimes. Like, okay, I messed up. What can I do next time? Okay, I'll give you for example. Like, sometimes we'll get customers who call. First of all, they'll call and then they'll be like, you know what? I don't feel like picking up my food today. Maybe they were hungry, but somebody else brought them food. Maybe they called the wrong store. Maybe they just got lazy. I remember one time somebody called me and then placed an order, and then like 2 hours later we're about to close, and I'm like, I don't think this person's coming, but I'll call him just in case. And I'm like, hey, hello. And so the thing is, it started raining. It had started raining, and then I called him back. I was like, hey, we're about to close. You gonna come pick up your food or what? Oh, no, sorry. We didn't want to go out in the rain. Like, is that fair? Is that right? The customers like do that all the time. Like they'll call and be like, hey, I want to get this, and this, and then they show up in the store and be like, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want the chicken fried rice anymore. Or you know what? Can I change this for that? But at that point, it's already cooked. It's sitting there. Like, is that fair? Like, should there be a rule that says like, hey, if you place the order, you got to pay for it, right? And there's all sorts of different solutions you could try, like, oh, okay, well, you have to pay for it beforehand or whatever. But the thing is, ultimately, if they want a refund, you have to give it to them, you know? So, I mean, is that fair? No, that's not. I don't think it's fair from a restaurant point of view. But customers do it all the time. Sometimes people do it without like even a second thought. It's like, oh, okay, well, whatever. So, anyways, going back to my original point is that we reward all the wrong people. I feel, especially, I want to say, especially in America, especially the way that American mindset is. Like the customer's always right. Have it your way. You know, it's fine. It's fine to be great to the customer. It's. I love being in customer service. I love trying to help people. But if you're always, people are smart. If they realize like, hey, all I have to do is bitch and moan as loud as possible and I'll get my way, then you're teaching everybody to do that. You're reinforcing the fact they will always follow the rules that will benefit them. If it benefits them to act like an asshole, they're going to act like an asshole. Which is why, like, I've never, like, I'll tell you the one time I offered a guy a free meal. Like, he ordered, he had been waiting, all these other people's orders kept going in front of him. I don't know what happened. Something, and again, this is not having anything to do with me, because this is a kitchen problem. Something's going wrong in the kitchen, and I'm not cooking. So it's not like I can run back there and like toss up a couple orders of chicken wings or something. So something happens. The guy waited at least 20 minutes. I saw like 10, 15 people, maybe not 10, 15, maybe like 5 or 7 people's orders go ahead of him. And he just sat there like, and I just kept apologizing, like, sorry, man. I'm sorry, man. Sorry, dude. Sorry. And then like, yeah, and then he waited, and finally the food came out. I was like, here you go, dude. You want some egg rolls, or do you want, I get you a couple of drinks if you want. And he's like, no, that's cool. That's cool, man. No. And then he was like tying up his thing, and I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Here. And I refunded him money. I was like, this one's on me, man. Because I'm more than happy to deal with people like that. Like I want to give the food away free for that kind of person. Because that's the way you should do it. That's how you should teach people. And then if like again, I'm talking about incentives and stuff. If somebody ever were to see that, or like if he goes and tells a story like, oh shit, like I was a understanding, mature person and I got rewarded for it. Don't you think people would learn and be like, oh shit, well if I'm mature and I'm responsible, shit, maybe I'll get my food for free too. Like the thing I hate about like this, okay, I'll talk about it in this video because it's kind of relevant, even though this video is kind of going along. Like, I hate people. Okay, so first of all, everybody makes mistakes. Okay, you work in an office building, you work in a restaurant, everybody makes mistakes. And yeah, it sucks to get your food like wrong and somebody to make a mistake and like either cook it wrong or bag it wrong or something. Yeah, but the thing about it is I hate those like hawks who are like, as soon as they see that you make a mistake, they're like, their eyes light up and they're like, oh, I'm going to capitalize us on it as much as I can. They screwed up my food. I'm getting free stuff out of this one. It's like, dude, imagine if you worked at your job, like in an office, and like every time like you screwed up in the office, they're like, okay, well, you know what? We're taking away your lunch break, or you're going to have to pay us back extra for double. You got to work an extra hour. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes people make mistakes, and like the people who are like trying to benefit something out of it, like, or penalize you even more, it's like, dude, seriously, man, like that's kind of gross. You know, like I know it sucks to get your food wrong again, but or to have something screwed up, like at your coffee shop or whatever, or your order at Amazon. Oh, you get your order from Amazon incorrectly; it's the wrong one. I know it sucks, but you know what? It happens, man. People are people, and sometimes you're bagging stuff up and you're trying to ship something out, and you put the wrong one in. It happens, dude. Get over it. Grow up. I mean, sometimes it's a bad situation. You need something by a certain time. You know, try to learn about the things that you could have done differently. That's what I always try to do. I try to look at all the things that I could have done differently that could have changed the solution, and hopefully in the future we can avoid that situation. But yeah, it's the same thing. There's another thing too, like people coming in last minute. They'll like come in 10 minutes before we close and like, oh well, I can't stay here and eat. Y'all can't stay late and wait for me. It's like, dude, like we were open all day. We close at 10. We close the same time every day. If you came in, I know it sucks because you really want to sit down and socialize and talk to your friend and have a place to eat and stuff like that. But I mean, again, if I showed up to your work 10 minutes before you closed and was like, "Hey, by the way, I need you to get this and this done. You're gonna have to stay an extra 30 minutes just waiting for getting this done for me." Like, no one's gonna be happy. I promise. I can't imagine anybody on earth saying, "I'm totally fine with that, David. I'm okay with you showing up 10 minutes before I get off work and making me stay an extra 30 minutes or an extra hour." If you're okay with that, then by all means, show up at the restaurant 10 minutes before late, and then just make sure you let me know where you work so I can go to your work, and do the same thing to you. Because yeah, that sucks, man. It really sucks to have to do that. And I know it sucks that you wanted to go eat, but I mean, there's some places that are open 24 hours. They're open a lot later. Go to an IHOP, go to whatever. All right. Anyways, I know that can kind of like bitching, but really, the reason why I say this, I don't know how. I mean, it's not my problem to solve, but I don't know how to solve this problem, right? Because the way America's culture is set up is that's what it rewards. To be a customer means it rewards you to be an ass. It rewards you to constantly like force yourself to get your way. And it sucks. Oh man, I have another story. Shit. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know if I told the story. Okay, this one's gonna be a long video. I'm gonna tell another story. I remember at GameStop. The one time, there's a handful of times, but one of the times that I was the most angry, I remember we closed at 9. It was probably already 9. It was probably 9:05, and there was a guy with his daughter in the store, and they were looking at Game Boys. Back then, we let people try stuff. So here's your Game Boy. Oh, can I try this game? Sure. They pop the game in there. They play it a little bit just before they go home. They want to make sure they like it. So he's like this. His daughter's in between his arms, and he's got the Game Boy like this, and his daughter's right here, and they're playing it together. And it's fine. It's a Sunday or whatever, or maybe not a Sunday. Whatever it was. Maybe it was a Sunday. We closed at 6, and so this was we are closed or 5 minutes after we've closed. And we're doing other stuff. We're cleaning up, and he's off on the side just doing his thing. Okay, fine, whatever. But we do need to close, and I can't just let him sit here and play games for an entire afternoon. So I just walked over, and I promise you, I did not say we're closed or anything, or you need to hurry up. Nothing like that. I was like, sir, just to let you know, if you have any questions, or I might have said, oh, we're closing up. So if you have any questions, just let me know. That's exactly the gist of what I said. And he was just like, it didn't look up, didn't respond, didn't do anything. And I was just like, I was more confused than anything. I was like, did he not hear me? Or, like maybe he has bad hearing or something? Because it was so obvious I was talking to him. And I was just standing there. And I remember standing there, and and this is what pissed me off so much. His daughter was like, Daddy, I think that guy's talking to you. And the fucking asshole, dude, was like, oh, I know, honey, but I'm just going to ignore him. And I was like, dude, like, back then, I didn't have the guts to say that because I just started working like retail and, you know, but if it was me now, I'd be like, sir, I'm not going to serve you. I don't care if I lose my job. I'm not, whatever you pick out, I'm not going to ring you up for. So, you know, fuck you, seriously, because I'm not going to deal with this shit, you know, because that's, it's wrong on so many levels, man. Like, you want to disrespect me, that's one thing. But to disrespect me and then have your daughter like for you to be an example of your daughter like that, and then have your daughter like question like what you're doing, like I don't know. Maybe she grew up and was like, that was at least 10 years ago. So maybe she grew up and was like, dude, that sucks that my dad does that, and she like learned on her own. Or maybe she's like, oh, my dad said that's totally fine. That's how I'm gonna treat people. But man, dude, that is probably one of the times that I've been the most pissed off working with people. It sucks, man. And yeah, fuck that guy. Anyways, thanks for listening. Almost Merry Christmas. Happy 23rd. We'll see you tomorrow for Christmas Eve. I'll do a Christmas Eve video maybe. Bye.